Tillicum.
I remember us living in our own place.
Tillicum is when
On our own as a family.
it was like fun and on free roam, but at the same time too though, like
When I wasn't fully aware of like everything that was happening, and
Not only that,
we made it work. Man, Tillicum. Tillicum is when that was when we finally got our own place. And
I remember it being like a 1-bedroom apartment with me and my 2 siblings and my mom at the time.
or maybe it was a 2. Maybe it was a 2. Yeah, it was a 2. Because I remember one room had just a whole bunch of clothes in it.
And like having hella laundry piled up.
Just had clothes on clothes. And it was our mom's room. She just had a whole bunch of clothes in the room. Like she has so many clothes. And then we had the room that we were all in, but we made it work. We made it work.
But yeah, that was us like finally getting our own spot together and just, going out on our own as a family.
We had my mom had though, I was saying we lived in Tillicum though, some of the best friends she had. Like I look back though, like the community, there's a lot of other women similar to my mom, like a lot of single moms and like low income, doing their stuff, and they had kids, so like.
But yeah, she found her village. I remember there was a lady, I think she was in the army at the time. I had like one child, Ernestine, who like helped my mom out by doing our hair, my younger sister and I's hair. And then there was this like sisters that lived in like an apartment on both sides of us with their kids. They were from Chicago. And so we would spend times at their house, and they'd spend times at our house.
I remember next door to us, my mom had give us rides and stuff. Only time she pissed me off, I remember me and Shaidaja got in trouble Shaidaja got in trouble at daycare, and she picked us up and she whooped Shaidaja, and that shit made me mad because I didn't like that shit. She made me mad about that, but she was cool besides that though. I remember she would send me to do errands, and she's that person that used to say, you're welcome, or before you have like a chance to say thank you, she would like beat you to it. And I remember I used to beat her to that when I used to do something for her. I used to be like, you're welcome. She's like, oh no, this boy didn't think. I remember I was like real smart with her when it came to that, but I remember she was cool to my mom. And then we had right next to her, it was Ashika and her sister. And what was the daughter's name? Chantel. Yeah, it was cool. We used to go there. So we shot sleepovers over there. Watch like scary movies. I remember watching Jeepers Creepers over there. That's where we saw Jeepers Creepers for the first time. We would do cool stuff when we got over there. I remember like when we got there, like it was kind of cool. Like it was chill. Like I was still getting in trouble at school because I was in 2nd grade now then, but I finished 2nd grade though. I finished 2nd grade. So we had Miss Erica.
That was my mom's ride or die for a moment. She had her daughter Eriquita and her son Malachi. Eriquita and I were friends, but like Erica was that friend to like keep us in line and like always watching us, or my mom was watching them. We'd take them grocery shopping. Like we remained friends with her for like ever.
She was real cool to my mom. She gave my mom rides. I remember she would try to talk to me when I was getting in trouble and stuff. She tried to, influence.
And then, I think the same folks, the same tribe that we had, since we initially moved to Washington, were the same ones showing up for us. Still the same family members, those friends for sure. But like Aunt Pam, Aunt Curlin, like all the cousins, uncles, like they were all still very present in our lives. Plus the village that my mom found in the complex, because we're all like a door away or a few more away from them. And so they were always making sure we were safe, making sure we were good. Because there's always people my mom would have to rely on or call. We just rely on to kind of keep us in check because she didn't do a whole lot.
Tillicum was Spartan, but at the same time, that shit was ghetto. Like, it was ghetto, too, at the same time. Like, the neighborhood we lived in, like, I remember it was literally a big apartment. Like it was 1-story apartment complex, but it was like a big cul-de-sac, I remember. So like when you walked out, you know, you could see everybody's stuff.
Even though it was Tillicum and I wasn't fully aware of like everything that was happening and all the kids being snatched up at times, I still felt pretty safe because, you know, there was no unwanted person in the house that was causing us any harm. And none of my mom's friends were like weirdos.
It was like fun and on free roam, but at the same time too, though, like my mom was like really like struggling too. So like people helped us, like all those people I named, they helped us a lot. I remember people gave us meals and helped my mom out because we were struggling. We went to the food bank during that time. Like
Sometimes our mom was so depressed, she didn't cook. We didn't really have no food. I remember growing up on hot dogs. When I say hot dogs without the bread. You dip the ketchup. Noodles. And our mom had the money for it, but sometimes she would forget to go shopping.
I started going to school. I remember my first day, I went with Iraquita, went to her class, was not supposed to be in her class. Ended up finding my class. I was in Miss Bunninger's class, Tillicum Elementary. And I remember loving it. I don't remember how I got so smart, but I remember just learning shit and just knowing how to do it. But that was that first day of school, like I don't know, sometimes that moment comes to me like randomly when I think about my mom, because it was like a prime example of, you know, her being unaware and not giving me a whole lot of direction, which in turn, I didn't know where the fuck I was going as a 5-year-old on my first day of school. I was just learning about myself, the world. I was older. I was able to articulate my needs more. But I also know being in Lakewood and going to school, yeah, a lot of kids look like me. Also, most of my class, they look like me though. There's a lot of like, of course, white kids. I had a white teacher, but that's when I was really like introduced to Washington and to colorism and to microaggressions, but didn't even know it. Like I remember, I also was obsessed with Alicia Keys music since I was in California. But like, I remember people like not knowing how to say my name or making jokes about the puffballs I had in my hair because that's all my mom could do. My mom could not do hair worth damn. And I remember wanting my name to be Alicia or something easier because I like met this white girl in my class named Alicia. And it was just like the coolest name to me, but it was also like easier for people to say. Because even though I was just like 5, I was still like aware and would be annoyed. Cause you know, kids know, like, no, it's not my name, you know? But yeah, I was learning about myself and the world and a few more societal cues and messages that I got from being a young Black girl. Of course, embracing her natural hair by default with a big name. I remember we went to this church that was also daycare.
That was our church and our daycare. So after school, we went there. Azariah was already there like all day. And me and Shaidaja would go after school. And I remember they would pick us up from school and we would walk there. That took me out of the streets because when I was not going there, I was just doing whatever the hell I wanted to do when I got home. I was literally like opening the front door, throwing my backpack in, and just running around town. We spent a lot of time with them during like that moment in Tillicum. I remember that like once we started going there, like they were very heavily involved. Like we went to like the church revivals with them. They baptized me like at a YMCA. And Pastor Blackwell, it was Pastor Blackwell, his wife. I remember his wife, Miss Rose, was always kind of more like, you know, materialistic, and he was just like kind of direct pastor, very friendly to all the kids and everybody happy to see him.
We go to church very long there because once my mom got pregnant out of wedlock for the first time, the pastor's wife, Pastor Blackwell's wife, Rose Blackwell, I kicked my mom out of the choir for being pregnant out of wedlock. Yeah, hella judgmental, but you know, politics of the church is another conversation.
I remember us living in our own place in Lakewood, and that's where Mom met Anthony.
Other memories that come to mind, I feel like my sister and I jumping into my mom's friend's car.
I remember me and Shaidaja stole his car. He was in the front seat driving, and I felt like we were we there yet, because he was running and chasing the car, and we was in there laughing at it. Good times.
Because Mom had this other friend, Marquita, who did not live in the complex. The complex was huge too. She made friends with her somehow. But Marquita, she had dated like Ben or whatever, her baby father, who was friends with Anthony, who was friends with Mom. They kind of had like a fling back then, but didn't officially like get together until like I was in college maybe, or like high school. And then finally had a child together.
Again, when we went to her house, that was weird. Because like she like had her own situations, and like she was a woman that was very much trying to please a man like our mom was. So my mom like and her got along with that. They were like women that were like with kids, were like men were like their main focus. And she had a man, and we would see their problems up close because we would stay the night. And then, that's where Anthony came in the picture, because her dude knew Anthony, my little sister's dad. Now, back then, my mom kind of had a thing with him. And I remember actually one time we were at Marquita's, and Anthony's baby mama or girl at the time, some woman, I remember she just looked like Baby D from Friday, because she had the braids and stuff, and she came with her daughter. And I remember she was like, "You lucky I'm not the person I used to be. You lucky I'm not the person I used to be." She kept saying that to Mom. And Marquita was like braiding her hair, like being hella scared of her, like, "It's okay, girl." And her daughter was just kind of like echoing her. And we were all sitting there like, this is weird. And Mom was just like almost crying, like awkward. And that was because Mom had a thing with Anthony, and she found out about it. But Marquita like almost set us up. She told us to come over, and then told the girl to come over. And I remember I peeped that, and I was always like, this is hella weird. And from that weekend, it was just weird. Because when we left, we had got like chased by dogs when we were leaving to go hop on the bus. When we left our house, we had got like chased by a dog. It was just weird. So that was kind of how we met her. We met Marquita on some weird man shit. She tried to hook my mom up with a man, Anthony, then, and it wasn't successful until later on in life. During that time, Mom met Chico.
I remember we used to take the bus with our mom all the time, and she met a man on there. And let's just say the story gets a little crazy, end up being a stepdaddy. Not only that, our little sister Tajamari was conceived from it.
Tajamari's dad. And so when Mom met Tajamari's dad, again, he was someone that only came over at night, that just came for like, tooted and booted.
Chico was a handsome man though. He was Puerto Rican or Mexican, can't remember which one, and black. Nice hair.
And then Mom got pregnant. I remember he came and never came again after Mom told him that she was pregnant.
Now, Tajamari's looking for him, and she doesn't know which way to go. Doesn't remember his last name, different information about him. So that's something that's been a tough journey for them, trying to figure out where he's at, because that's Tajamari's dad, and she hasn't got to meet him or see him.
Aunt Keisha during that time knew us, and so she kind of was helping Mom out. And I remember Aunt Pam came over, and she was disappointed in Mom. She was very disappointed in Mom. And I remember Mom cried. Aunt Keisha, though, helped Mom get an apartment in Puyallup, where she lived. So she helped Mom get an apartment there. But we, at the time, because we moved right when Mom was giving, like right during the time when Mom was about to have a baby. So we actually went and stayed with Aunt Keisha during the time. Like, we didn't even go straight to the apartment.